Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Roy from DIY Nation here. I'm here to show you how I sand my projects down before I paint them with the Rustoleum paint job, as you saw in my earlier videos. Well, what I'm doing here is just showing you the sandpaper. I'm using 120 grit to start out and take out all my scratches, anything that I really just don't want in my paint job right there. You see, I use 220 grit kind of in the middle and at the end, just to make sure I get everything sanded down real well. I use that red scotch brite pad along with some scuffing paste, which I'll have to post a link onto what kind of scuffing paste I use. I also use the interface pad in between the sander and my sandpaper, and you'll see in just a moment when I start sanding the reason that I use that is you can get into the contours and stuff without digging into the actual whatever you're trying to sand and getting to the metal. There are some pieces that I sand to the metal on, but you can spot prime those and then just go over it with the with some can filler primer. Right here, I'm trying to get those dry clear coat spots where the peeling is in the clear coat. The way you get rid of that is you take your sander, or if you're sanding by hand, start from the area that's good and then sand towards the bad part in a back and forth motion until you start to see it kind of I guess the best way I could describe it is it slopes downwards onto the bad area, the part where it's already peeled off, and then eventually you'll create such a slope that you'll run your hand across it and you can't feel it anymore. When you can't feel it anymore, when it feels like a uniform even surface, that's when you know that you've sanded enough and that there's nothing else you need to do, and it won't show up in your paint job. So that's what I'm doing here, just sanding the entire surface. One thing that's crazy about painting is you think, hey, you have to sand to get it to the paint to stick. That makes no sense. At first, to me, it didn't make any sense. Like, I'm going to sand my piece, but you do that so the paint has something to grab onto. And Rustoleum is really thick, so you can shoot it with when it's sanded only to 220 grit. Don't try and do this with some other paints because it's not going to work. But I found that this is just fine for Rustoleum. Right here I'm switching over to 220 in just a moment. Just fast forwarding a bit just so you guys don't have to go through every single little bit of me sanding, because it can get kind of tedious and time consuming. Shorten up the video for you guys here. So I take my 220 now and same deal, just sand every little bit and crevice. You see right there the part on the trunk lid where the tag would go. I'm actually not sanding with the 220 grit sandpaper just because there's no need to. Behind there nothing's gonna get seen, so later on in the video I'll take a green scotch brite pad, which is a lot more abrasive, and I'll take the scuffing paste and go in there with it, because it's not going to be seen. I can go as heavy as I want to with it. As far as grit goes, I can go with a very tough grit and still it'll be fine. But here I'm just going over everything with that 220. You can see on that corner, I'll probably just run my hand across it every once in a while just to check to make sure that I've removed the part where you can feel. See me running my hands across. When you have an even uniform surface, that's when you switch over to the next grit. Right here I'm just using some soap and water, squirting it all over. That scuffing paste I was talking about, that's made by PPG, it's maybe $20. You don't have to use it, but I love to, because you just want to make sure you get if you still see any shiny spots once that paint is dry after you sand it, then you gotta go over it again. And I hate seeing that, so I always love to go over it with this red scotch brite pad when I'm doing the Rustoleum to make sure that I didn't miss any single section, any single part. You just scrub that in just like I guess if you were washing dishes, I guess it's the best way, like you're scrubbing dishes. Just scrub the entire thing down with that red Scotch Brite. I wish I had a bigger piece. You guys can see there that I'm working with very little, but no need. It gets the job done. A little bit more. It doesn't take a lot. Maybe a quarter size spot will do probably the whole trunk. If you want to go excessive with it, you can. And actually, this stuff actually helps clean your surface, whatever you're gonna paint. It helps clean it too. If you got any, dirt, wax, grease, it'll help clean it up too. So that's the final step there. Thank you guys for watching this video. It's my first little commentary, so trying to do my best. If you guys have anything you guys want to know about this paint job or anything really, I've been painting for about maybe 3 years now. So if you guys want to ask me questions, any DIY questions, I'm just a DIYer, I'm not a pro, but I'll give you my 2 cents on anything you guys ask. And if y'all want videos on something done, I'm more than happy to get those out there for you guys. And I really appreciate you watching my videos. This is Roy with DIY Nation. Thank you.